Alright, everybody, welcome back. It's GhostWolf. I'm here to show off one of my new side mods and give you guys a tutorial on how to use it. This is the IVs EVs side mod, and it basically will give you information, let you look at some of the base stats and genetics of your Pokemon so that you're able to use them more effectively and make them into as powerful as they can be. So, first off, there's 3 commands, and I will explain just kind of basically what the commands do and what the permission nodes are so that anyone who wants to use them on a server or just use them on their by themselves can get right started. And then I'll go into a little bit more detailed explanation of the importance of EVs and the importance of IVs at the end of the video. So that way, if you guys want a little bit more information or some tips or tricks, then you can keep watching to the end. Alright, so first off, we have 3 commands. IVs, 1. So IVs in the slot number. That will tell you the different IVs. So these are initial values. They're basically the Pokemon's genetics. And that'll tell you their stats. And then you can do EVs and a slot number. And that will tell you all about the EVs, effort values. IVs are initial values that have been collected by that Pokemon. These are gained during battle. And so I just had my Mudkip and I just gave myself 2 Mews. So as you can see, there's 0. And then the last command is HiddenPower and the slot number. And this will tell you what the HiddenPower TM, which can be learned by all Pokemon, will take on for your specific Pokemon. Basically, it can become any type other than normal type. It just picks it based on your Pokemon's IVs. There's a complicated calculation, and my side mod does it for you. And it can vary its power anywhere from 30 power to 70 power. So generally, it's kind of something you only want to use a Hidden Power TM if your Pokemon is going to have a hidden power of an interesting type and have the hidden power be a beneficial power or have a strong enough power. So my Mudkip's hidden power is Ghost type. That's pretty appropriate, but only has a power of 33. So that's actually one of the lowest power levels it could possibly have, and that won't change as it grows because IVs are unchanged. They never will change. They can be inherited during breeding, but that's about it. So, probably wouldn't want to use a Hidden Power TM on that. Let's see about our 2 Mews. Fighting type Hidden Power. Not bad on a Mew, but it's again 34 power. And we have a Psychic type Hidden Power with a power of 49, which is already weaker than Psychic. So, probably wouldn't use a Hidden Power TM on any of these Pokemon. But say, like, you had a Mew who is weak to Dark types that had a Fighting type Hidden Power of 70, which would give it a 70 power hidden or move. You might want to actually use that to actually kill dark types, because they would never expect it. Now, Hidden Power does have some other issues, whereas there might be some moves that are still stronger than it that you can teach. But, you know, it's often used for coverage, so that's why that is in. And then for these commands, you can use its com. This is the command node, com.ivsevsmod.ivsevs. I apologize about the structure, but that is the way Minecraft mods are doing their structure now. .commands.IVs. The I and V are capitalized, the S is not. EVs, same system, E is capitalized. And then Hidden Power, the H and the P are capitalized. So those are your command nodes if you're using a permission manager. And that's basically all you need to know to use these in this side mod on your server. And I'll kind of talk a little bit more about the different things more in depth now. So let's start discussing some IVs. So if you look at my Mews, I have 2 Mews. They're both female. They're both level 50, but you can see their stats are a little bit different. And I just did these straight up Pokegive. So I have one Mew that has 175 HP, and the other one has 162. This one only has 95 defense. This one has 118. So you can see that some of the stats vary Pokemon to Pokemon. It's because of their IVs or the Pokemon's genetics. So if we compare these two, you can see that the first Pokemon that has more health has 30 IVs for health, only 5 IVs for health on the other one. So this Mew, the max you can ever have for any IV stat is 31. The lowest you can have is 1, so that's what they vary between. So this Mew almost has the absolute best amount of health it could possibly get. And the way this will work is at level 100, the IV stat of 30 will actually yield you, I believe it's an extra 60 health compared to a level 1. It might vary per Pokemon and whatnot, and per nature as well, but basically, if two Pokemon have the same value, they'll have the same bonus to that, but if one has a higher value, they'll tend to be stronger. So a 3 defense, which is why that one's defense was so weak, versus a 26, the second Pokemon had a much better defense. And the stat boosts from these can also be affected by nature, because nature multiplies your end stat. So if you have a 31 on your attack IVs, and a nature that boosts attack, you get a bonus on the IVs as well. So it works out really in your favor. And so you can use this to pick which Pokemon out of a group to train. Let's see, looking at these, I would definitely be training this first Mew. Well, actually no. Yeah, this first Mew would have a lot more health, would have more speed, and more special attack, as Mew's a special attacker. It would be significantly weaker on defense, whereas this Mew is a much better attack and defender, with both attack stats getting about the same buff. But it's a little bit slower, it suffers in special defense, and suffers in HP. So you can kind of see that, and you can see the percent of your IVs out of the theoretical maximum. Now this percent will usually vary between 40 and 60. You can get it up higher, but it's very rare that you see Pokemon with perfect IVs until breeding is implemented. Depending on how you breed, which one the mother and which one the father is, certain stats can be inherited, so that your, this 30 HP IV might be passed down if it's the mother, but not the father. So once Pixelmon breeding gets introduced, I'll probably do a video explaining things on that. But for now, these are pretty much unchangeable stats, and so it just kind of lets you see which Pokemon is better for certain things. Now on to EVs. So EVs are effort values, and basically the way they work is each Pokemon you kill gives either 1 or 2 different types of EVs. So Graveler, they're very defensive Pokemon, so they actually will give EVs of a defense type. And so you can accumulate, so let's look at my Mew real quick. EVs 2. So my Mew, just fresh off a spawn, or fresh off a capture, it has no EVs. If I were to kill this Graveler, hit it with Psychic. Oh, it has Sturdy, so it's going to take a second hit. So I just killed it, and now if I check the EVs now, it has gained 2 defense EVs. And so you can have up to 255 EVs of any particular type, and a total of 510. So if you figure that out, you'll figure, okay, I can put 2 stats up to 255. But the way it works is that's actually not optimal. So at level 100, because EV's benefit is based on what level things are, if you're at level 100, if you have 4 points in defense, it will add another point to your defense stat. So like right now, the Mew has a 96 defense. If I had 4 defense EVs and that Mew was level 100, that defense stat will actually be 97. And so you can actually earn another 61 points in a stat? No. 263 points in a stat with 252 EVs of a particular type at level 100. Now, the reason I say 252 is because 255 doesn't actually divide by 4 evenly, so you actually have 3 stat points that are wasted. So what most people will do when they're Eevee training is they'll do 252 on one stat, 252 on another stat, and then they have 6 points, so they can put 4 of those into another stat and get 1 point of additional stat bonus in that stat, and you basically end up with 2 wasted stats. Or if you kind of mess up when you're Eevee training and you fight a Pokemon that doesn't give you the stat you're training, you essentially have 6 points that aren't really that concerning. So most people will usually either train attack and speed or special attack and speed, but depending on your Pokemon, you may train special defense or health up or whatnot. And so basically you have to figure out which Pokemon give beneficial EVs for what you're trying to train for, and you usually try to match it up to their nature. So like this Mew is an adamant nature, which means it gets a 10% boost to attack and a 10% reduction to special attack. So you'd likely want to find Pokemon that give you attack EVs, like Sandiles and things like that, to actually grind off of to get your points, because that will give you a stronger EV bonus, and then the Eevee bonus gets an additional 10% bonus from the nature. So that's how you can make your stats even stronger. When you're Eevee training, in addition to just having your Pokemon gain EVs from killing things like that, and the way EVs work is generally each level in the evolutionary line will give different numbers of EVs. So I killed the Graveler earlier and I got 2 defense. If you kill a Geodude, you'll typically get 1 defense, or you will get 1 defense. And if you kill the 3rd form in a line, you'll typically get 3 points. So like a Golem would be worth 3 defense. So we'll fight this Geodude. Alright. So now if we check our EVs, we now have 3 defense EVs. Now what I was trying to show you, but I forgot to put the EXP share on, I believe Machops work well for attack, so we'll fight a Machop. And it doesn't matter what level they are, each Pokemon yields the same as long as they're that type. So what I did is I put an EXP share on my other Mew. It's never actually fought a battle, and now its EVs, I actually have 1 attack EV on that Mew. Because any Pokemon that receives experience receives the same number of EVs. So experience points themselves get split. EVs, everybody gets the same. So if there's 3 EVs you can get from a Pokemon, and 3 different Pokemon got experience from the battle, each one gets 3 EVs. So you can use that to your benefit by switching in every Pokemon against a weak Pokemon. So say you had a level 6 Machop. I could switch in one Mew, switch out for the other Mew, switch in for Mudkip, kill it, and then all 3 of them will get the bonus for the IVs, or the EVs. Now, in addition to that, there's several items that are designed in order to increase your chances of getting better IVs, or getting IVs more quickly. So they are the Power Weight, Power Bracer, Power Belt, Power Lens, Power Band, Power Anklet, as well as the Macho Brace. So what the Macho Brace does is if your Pokemon is holding it, any EVs they gain for that battle gets doubled. So if they would have gained 1 defense, they now get 2. If they would have gained 2 defense, they now get 4. It's okay. Macho Brace is not terribly commonly used because it's not as quick as these power items. These power items provide +4 of a specific type of EV, regardless of what you're fighting. So I could be fighting something that gives me +1 speed EV, and if I have a Power Bracer, I'll gain +4 additional attack EVs on top of that. So I will gain 1 speed and 4 attack. So some people will split them off so they're using 2 different types, so they'll gain attack and speed at the same time. Some people will put the Power Anklet, which gains speed, and fight speed Pokemon, so then you get 5 points per battle. And the main reason I wrote this side mod was because I got tired of keeping track of that on a spreadsheet, so now whenever you gain EVs, all you have to do is just type the command again, it'll give you a nice little printout, and you'll see how many you have of each type. So as far as those items go, let me open my inventory again. The way these work is Power Bracer boosts your attack stat, Power Lens boosts special attack, Power Anklet gives you 4 speed EVs per kill, Power Band gives you 4 special defense, Power Belt gives you 4 defense, and Power Weight gives you 4 HP. So the way the HP EVs work, it works just like the speed and the other EVs, but you actually get a point of health every time you have enough EVs to count. And so at level 100, 4 EVs will translate to an extra point, so you can get an extra 63 health on a Pokemon by EV training them to max at health. Now at level 50, so basically it divides that effect by your level. So if you're only at level 50, you're only halfway to 100, so each point of EV is only worth half as much. So it takes 8 points of EV to give you 1 point of health. At level 25, it's a quarter, so it takes 16 points of EV to give you 1 point of health. So the higher level you get, the more useful EV values will become. And there currently are no items in Pixelmon that will reduce your EVs, so once you've earned them, you've earned them. There's no real way to reset them. There will be eventually items that will reduce the EVs in certain stats, so you can undo certain mistakes. So that is a general description of IVs, EVs, and HiddenPower TM uses. I will be updating this side mod in the future to include some commands that let you tell what EVs you will gain from killing certain Pokemon. I also have one where it says, okay, you'll do EVs special attack, and then it will find all the Pokemon in your current biome, or maybe nearby biomes as well, depending on how I code it. And it'll say, okay, so for special attack, you can get Onix, or Chimchar, or Machop, or whatever it is. I don't think any of those were actually correct, except maybe the Chimchar. But you can get the special EVs, or special attack EVs from them, so it makes your training and finding Pokemon to kill even easier. For now, it just keeps track of all of them for you, so that way you can see when you're maxed out. You can't gain past 255 EVs, so it just stops gaining them at that point. And so that way you can continue fighting Pokemon that give you those EVs, but they won't accumulate and they won't count towards your 510 total. I think that is just about everything. So that's the side mod, and I will be releasing another two more side mods in the next couple days to a week. So look forward to those, and I'll be doing a tutorial video for each one of those as well. So I will see you next time, and hopefully leave your feedback and questions, comments into the description. I'll do my best to answer it as always. See you next time.